Your halftime entertainment, we celebrate the 43-year reign of the speed metal kings, Metallica. The 9 Grammy Awards and 14 nominations, 38 concert tours worldwide, 11 studio albums that span 4 decades, the Titans of Thrash remain the standard by which all other metal is measured. We begin with a 1984 classic from their second album, For Whom the Bell Tolls, followed by the 1992 tour anthem, Wherever I May Roam. And then, let's turn down the house and light up the stage for the Auburn University Marching Band and their show, Metallica.
Wednesday night is here again, and that means it's time for Auburn Family Night. And boy, what a big one it is. You've made it all the way through the off season, folks. Football season is here. The first one we're going to do on Auburn Family Night. Your comments, your questions, your topics, and your calls. All that's coming up right now. War Eagle, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of E2C Network Live, where we get together, we sit down, and we talk about the Auburn experience. The Auburn experience to us is all about a few things: Auburn sports, Auburn culture, Auburn family stuff. Say it with me. If it's orange and blue, it is what we do. So thank you so much for joining us in what we're going to be doing this evening on Auburn Family Night. This is my favorite show every single week because it's not about me. It's really not even what I want to necessarily talk about. It's what about you, the Auburn family, want to discuss, dive into, ask questions about, bring topics up, maybe even call in tonight. This is your night, you, the Auburn family. Jump on into the chat. Let us know you're here. Say hello with a War Eagle, whatever you want to do to get this show started off on a good note, because this is all about you. We're going to open up the phone lines already for you all just to see if anybody wants to start taking advantage of that. So it is now open, pinned up at the top of the chat on YouTube. It is also available on Facebook. If you look up at the top, it's not pinned, but it's up at the top if you want to take advantage of that there. If you're watching on X, you'll have to come over to one of those platforms, preferably the YouTube side, so you can access that with ease. With all that in mind, those are your instructions. That's what this thing is about. Y'all come on in now and let us know you're here. Say hello and all that kind of good stuff. Let me get us started with a few things here. Not only is this a special night because it's the first one of football season, technically. I know the game is in 2 days, but we're going to treat it as such. But as you can probably tell with gear and logos on our stream down here, Barner Supply is back with us for football season. We are so excited to be partnering with them for the next few weeks and months here on Auburn Family Night. They are a great Auburn company that you need to check out at barnersupply.com. Get cool gear like with this logo here. They've got all kinds of stuff. Matt has been getting so creative the last couple of weeks and months that we haven't had him on the Wednesday night show, been sharing out some of his things. You need to check him out. Use our exclusive link down there in our description on YouTube. If you need an ability to get to that and you can't, let us know. We'll certainly send that your way. Always show your love for us by shopping with them through our link. We're proud to partner with them for Auburn Family Night tonight and for many, many nights to come for Auburn football season. You'll be seeing a lot of them, and hopefully we'll maybe get to talk to some of them when they have the time to call in one evening. Barsupply.com. Thanks to them for supporting Auburn Family Night. All right. There are plenty of things that we can talk about, 1,000 different ways that we can get into it. Plenty of discussion points. So many of you guys here already know, hanging out with us this evening and checking in already. So we have got a lot that we want to discuss. Can I set the table for you before I let you all take center stage and start taking some calls too? Obviously, we sit here on the eve of Auburn football's 2025 season beginning. Technically, second eve, if that's what you want to call it, because the eve would be tomorrow night. Is it weird, y'all? Come on. It's a Friday and we're playing football. I think it's going to actually be great for both teams, for the college football landscape. But it is weird that we're playing on a Friday evening. It's made my schedule a little bit off. Every time I've tried to put some content out this week, I've had to remember, oh, wait, you've got one less day to work with on this, so you might want to put that out a little bit sooner. So I should be back in full gear next week. We're going to talk a little bit throughout the stream and towards the end about the schedule for some things coming up that you're going to want to be aware of. But please do engage here. Please do get locked in. If you haven't subscribed on YouTube, you need to do that. If you haven't followed on Facebook, you need to subscribe, follow everywhere you can, because folks, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Let's get this show going here. Anything you guys want to start off in the chat? He said, can I suggest that we call this Football Eve Eve? Yes, since it is Wednesday night before a Friday game, it would be Football Eve Eve. I'll run with that. It's a little complicated, a little bit, you know, it's a little bit weird, but it is definitely something we could run with on that one. Friday is a day and a couple of hours away. Psst, yes, a day and a couple of hours away. Just a hint, just a whiff of a day away. Can we just call it a day away at this point? I want y'all to think about this. Let me put things into perspective for you. Now, this could be a good thing or a bad thing by the time the ball gets kicked off. We could be an hour in to an amazing football. We're going to be an hour into a football game because it's 8, it starts at 8 Eastern time on Friday. We are going to be 2 days from now, or 24 hours, 48 hours from now. Math is hard. Y'all just watch me. Why do I continue to try to do math on this show? Stop it, Kyle. Stop it. It's bad. It's awful. Can't do math, and I have a degree too, so I promise I can do other things. Math is just not my forte. Anyway, 48 hours. 47, Dalton says, to be specific, away from Auburn football getting started. I know that's where our focus is going to be this evening, and that is okay. As always, we want to encourage you to explore all kinds of topics in the Auburn space tonight. We want to encourage you to check out all the other programs that are going on right now. Soccer, volleyball, cross country is about to get going. There's going to be tennis and golf going as well this fall. So we can certainly talk about anything within those space. There are tertiary stories that we've covered on the podcast, such as scheduling, things like that. I mean, there is no endless amount of topics that we can dive into just a little bit more on detail here on Auburn Family Night. So you guys don't be shy. What's going on, Greg? Oh, that's the wrong one. See, I clicked on Greg and then Dalton tried to budge in on him. How dare you, Dalton? Good to see you, though, and good to see you, Greg. Special live stream of Kyle solving basic math problems and showing his work. I don't show my work because the work that goes on in this head is not valid and doesn't work. You know, like when you go to class and it's in a math class and they say, show me the proof of your math. I have no proof. I have nothing. It just doesn't work. It doesn't pan out. It doesn't anything like that. All right, listen, I've yammered on enough for the first 8 minutes of our show. You guys take center stage from here, and please jump on into the chat, suggest some topics. We're going to go ahead and take our first call of the evening. I'm going to challenge you all to beat this guy one time into the call-in link. One time. You got to be quick. He's a quick draw, but try one time to beat him into the call-in link. Here he is, ready to roll with the number 1 and that cowboy hat. What's going on, Mr. Kevin?
Hey, War Eagle, we got Braylon Womack. Woo!
Yes, that's what's funny about that, Kevin, is that was a big story, and that just got lost amongst everything else that happened last week. But that was a big pickup.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was. What was your favorite thing last week that happened other than Braylon Womack? What was like the big story that you liked, or anything? Any thoughts on that?
Malcolm Simmons got cleared of everything.
Yep, that happened. We had the whole 9 national championships thing. Be careful, Mike is in the chat right now. He'll have some issues with that. No, I'm just picking at Mike. We had Cam Newton's jersey retirement. Yellowwood is coming to the field. We've had all kinds of other announcements that.
When do you think we have either College Game Day or SEC Nation there?
I don't know, because SEC Nation usually comes to town, and it's typically not one where College Game Day would, but maybe because they've got something else going on. I would probably bet on SEC Nation coming at some point this year. My guess would be maybe the Iron Bowl, because it seems like College Game Day likes to go to the other places these days. But you never know. If it's the game of the week, then and everybody's paying attention to that one, we'll see. I think College Game Day If
might come to Auburn and Georgia.
Yes, you took the words right out of my mouth. So certainly there's a lot of ifs, right? We got to wait and see what happens with the whole, how the season goes, right? But if Auburn comes in, maybe with no or one loss, and Georgia's sitting there, undefeated as well, first night game in so many years in Jordan-Hare versus Georgia, that could be.
And we're retiring Cam Newton jersey too.
Absolutely. So listen, it's perfectly set
up. I got number
Cam
two.
Newton could
number two on.
What was that? Sorry, you were talking over me.
I got number 2 jersey on.
You got number 2 jersey on. I got a number 2 jersey as well. That's awesome. That's awesome. So yeah, I think obviously Cam Newton having that retirement, if it's warranting for College game day to come to town for Georgia, then I would imagine that with the whole Cam Newton being the celebrity picker, probably just sets up perfectly there. That would work really, really well. Now, if they don't come for that one, I don't know what else is going on that weekend, but SEC Nation would be a perfect next pick for that too.
Yeah.
Yes, I think there's lots of options for Auburn.
Where do we play? When do we play at Texas A&M?
That'll be game number 5 on the season. So it'll be Oklahoma and Texas A&M on the road, and then we need
to win those 2.
Well, I think we need to win every single one of them, just not
every single one. Yeah.
Won't you take every single win?
Yeah, every single win by 1 point.
By 1, you want us to win every single game by 1 point? That's it? That's what you want?
No, 21 points against Baylor.
I was about to say, somebody get Kevin to the hospital, because this man's predicted every blowout that I've ever known. And he's saying, I want 1 point win. He wants a heart attack. That's what he wants.
No, I want all blowout wins.
Hey, listen. Okay, that sounds more like you. I'll take it. I was a little worried about you there for a second.
And what's the status on Alex McPherson?
There's a lot of discussions about that, a lot of quotes and things from that. I'll be honest with you. I must have missed a quote that there's a certain quote that's coming from Hugh Freeze. I've seen some of our media report on that.
They said he's doubtful for the game.
I don't know that. I think that is still speculative, unless I missed. They could have put out the SEC injury report, but I think they only do that for the SEC on SEC games. Either way, there certainly seems to be some questions about his health currently again, which is just not. It's just so frustrating for us as fans, but it is so frustrating for him and his family and everything that he has worked so hard to get back to. So I hope that he's okay, and I hope that that some of this speculation is a little bit overblown, but I don't know anything more than you would.
How is Brian Beatty doing?
I actually don't know. We haven't had a Brian Beatty update in quite some time. He seemed to be on the mend pretty much when he came home for the Iron Bowl last year, meaning Tuscaloosa. But I think probably no news is good news at this point. So I think you can probably.
Will Demora? How's the running back rotation looks like?
Have no clue. I'm not there. I'm not the coaches, but I will tell you this: based off the depth chart that you probably saw that on social media. You saw that Damari was listed at number 1, and then Darrell and Jeremiah, I believe, had a or next to them, meaning their number 2.
Yeah,
or situation either way. Darrell had been working back from an injury. So I think maybe that factors in a little bit to how much they may utilize him or not. I don't know.
How about Eric?
Damari's going to be your feature guy.
How about Eric Singletary?
Eric Singletary. You mean Eric? You mean Eric Singleton? I was thinking NFL.
Yeah, Singleton.
No, Eric Singleton. Today, coach said that he is not 100% better, but he will play. So probably a little bit of cautiousness around that. I think it was like a deep thigh bruise or something like that. So I think he'll be fine.
I bet Cam Coleman's ready.
Oh, man. Listen, there's probably no one more ready than Cam Coleman right now to take that next step in his career and live up to those expectations that Auburn fans have certainly put on him. But it's warranted, right? Yeah.
Guess who is a starting quarterback at Wake Forest?
Oh, I know. It's one of your favorites, Robbie Ashford. So I hope
Yeah,
he has success.
he should not left Auburn.
Well, I think it's probably best that they parted ways. There wasn't going to be a lot of hope for him here at quarterback, but
Yeah,
I'm happy that he's getting an opportunity somewhere else because he certainly served us well while he was here. I don't have any ill will towards him.
I will miss Peyton Thorne.
I'll miss Pate. Listen, everybody leaves.
I'm wa-
I know what you meant by
I'm
that.
wa- I'm watching the Texas A&M game right now from last year.
Oh, I was about to say they ain't playing right now. Are they? I
Uh-uh.
get you. He's got it on repeat. All right, sir. Before you go, I need your score prediction. What you got for the game? Since we want to hear it straight from you on camera. What's your score prediction?
Baylor 21 and Auburn 41.
Ooh, high scoring game, but double them up. I love it, Kevin.
Yeah,
Buddy.
because I think you will see Cam Coleman catching touchdown passes right and left.
Kicking or catching?
Catching.
Oh, catching. I thought I heard kicking touchdown passes. I was like, well, that's a new play that I didn't come up with. I've never heard of before. But hey, listen, whichever way gets the touchdown, I don't care. We've got him on the record with his first prediction of the year. Kevin, buddy, it's good to hear from you, and we look forward to many more calls during football season.
War Eagle, I'll see you September 6th.
Yes, sir. Got it on my calendar. See you
Bye.
then. Bye. All right, that's our first caller this evening. Y'all don't be shy. Come on into the chat. And ladies and gentlemen, we've got our celebrity in the house this evening in the chat. Barner Supply is here. He knows the drill, the little part of the Auburn family, the best little family within the Auburn family, however you want to say it. It's our little unit within the best unit in the world. That is the Auburn family. And as his motto says, Barn hard. Look at that. I'm even wearing that hat right now. So you can see just a couple of the cool logos and designs they have. This is one. There's one down here and over in the corner. I'll try to reach over, actually not make it look awkward. Plenty more of those. The classic barn one as well that you should check out. Barnersupply.com. Our link is in the description. Check them out if you'd like to. Rise, that is not what we're doing here. So that's why it's not getting acknowledged. It's not that I'm ashamed of it. It's just not what we do here. Let's see here. I think there were some comments we needed to address. This is from Micah earlier. Is game day based on week to week? What the hot game is? I think generally, yes, but not necessarily, because sometimes they try to go to a quote unquote obscure place. Like they've been out to, the Montanas, the South Dakotas, the North Dakotas, every once in a while to do something special, James Madison. But it's really just where they think they're going to get the most hits. I think most likely, but sometimes they'll do special occasion things. If it's like, yes, Ohio State and Texas is the big game this week, but they would go back there since it was his first game day headgear pick back in the day. Let's see. What do we got in the chat? Tim, good to see you. What's going on? Rise says, did you see the Auburn Nike shoes giveaway? You'll have to be a little bit more specific. I have seen 1,000 different posts from Auburn. So yeah, that doesn't narrow it down all that much. But I feel like every promotion right now is some geared towards Nike. I know soccer was giving away some of those special shoes, I think 2 games in a row, if I'm not mistaken. I'll be honest with you, and I know this is the Debbie Downer for you guys in relation to me. I'm just not that big of a Nike or brand person. I'm really not even that much of an Under Armour guy. I've only really chosen that because it's what's Auburn has had for the last couple of years, and it's what was available. I'm not that big of the brand guy. You know what brand I am big about? Barnersupply.com. See, I'm going to work it in whatever way I can, Matt, if you're still there. Let's see here. What is that one flag that is always in the background of game day and have they been there? Are you talking about Washington State? Yeah, Washington State's the one that's been there the most. I think there's like an award or some type of acknowledgement for that. I remember them having a big contingency of fans come to Auburn versus Washington State in 2005, and then they came back in 2013 for the first game with Gus. So I think it's Washington State that you are referring to. Why was the Auburn Baylor video game simulation video so heavily edited? I would rather you put the whole thing up and I can jump around if needed. And see, here's the problem, WT. You say that, and then somebody else says the exact opposite. I don't want to watch the whole thing. So unfortunately, I just have to do what I can best to most people don't want to stick around for a whole video. Although I will be honest with you, WT, I was exploring an idea to put up the full video with something for access for the Conquer Club, but there's not really I haven't given up on that idea yet, but there's not really a way to pull that off. So real quick, sorry, I'm going to plug every chance I get here for things. If you haven't taken a look at it yet, this is what he's referring to. This is our College Football 26 Auburn versus Baylor simulation. Many of you have probably seen it by now. Go check it out. The full quote unquote video of the highlights is on YouTube, but we have also released a reel if you don't have time to go watch it. But I would highly recommend you go watch that about 12 minute video, because it's a pretty good simulation. And I promise you, this is the only simulation that I ran in this game. I was surprised how well it turned out. So check that out. It's on YouTube. It's also available on Facebook. I don't know why I took that off there. Sorry about that, guys. But check it out if you haven't, and please, always, guys, when you're, especially on the YouTube side of things, again, it's everywhere, Facebook, all that stuff. Every time that you can go and watch a video and drop a comment, hit the like button, it is extremely helpful. If you can do nothing else for us, if you're not able to do the Conquer Club or things like that, doing those small things, letting the video play out fully, and dropping a comment and a like is very, very, very helpful. So try to do that for us if you can. If you don't want to watch the whole thing, why watch it at all? I mean, I agree, WT, but I have to go with the trend. So unfortunately, the trend is really videos longer than like 5 minutes really don't do well these days. Live streams is what does well for those, but it is what it is. Hangman, what's going on? That reminds me, can you tell me if you feel comfortable, Hangman, what is your full name? Because someone was asking me about you over there in the UK, and I didn't know your full name, and they were because they're trying to figure out who all our big Auburn British fans are. And I believe I've got you correct in your characterization there, but let me know that if you feel comfortable, or you can send me a direct message or email or something, just because there was somebody wanting, I don't know if they wanted to get in touch with you or whatever, just wanting to know who you were exactly. It's someone I know personally, so it's not like something sketchy or anything like that. I know that sounded weird, didn't it? All right. Unbeaten Lake says, I was really hoping Tim Brando would be calling the game. And of course, we get RG3, who went to Baylor, so we know who he's rooting for. Listen, I don't get up in arms about stuff too much these days, but I found that to be very unprofessional on Fox's part to put a commentator. Now listen, if they want to pair RG3 with, say, Cam Newton, then maybe we got something going there, but like the Manning brother type of cast. But otherwise, it feels a little bit off. Rise Life still has my 2010 Cam Newton jersey from the Auburn Mall. I don't know where mine came from, but it is in the closet. I need to bust that out a few times this year when it gets a little bit cooler and the house is not so hot, but we'll see if I can bust that out for you. This is from Micah. Says, I watched a talk. Is that what we call it now? A talk of the Auburn band. They sound good. Would there be any way we could get a view of it, or do they want it to be a you have to be there thing? Micah, if you are asking about videos of the band's performances at halftime, have you been on our YouTube a lot? We've got a lot of those. Our most viewed video is the Metallica show. Of the band's biggest performance they've done as of late. You got to go check that out if you haven't done so. I have done for the last couple of years a pretty decent job of getting most of the band shows and put up pretty quickly, usually the day after. Sometimes I can get it up the day of if the game, if it was a morning game, not always. They have not told me not to do it. And I've actually coordinated before with the band. I've just filmed it on my phone. My arm gets very tired. If you can imagine that, it's an 8-minute show. But yeah, I still do that for you guys. And I try my hardest to give you the shows that we can. So yeah, Micah, there's a whole playlist of the Auburn band stuff. There's stuff I think in there from them playing out on the tailgates, amongst the tailgates. We've got the pre-show right after Tiger Walk, all that. Got a lot. I'm going to try my best to get a lot more of that this year. I'm going to be a little bit more exploratory with some of my angles on the band this year as much as I can. But we'll see what we get into there. And nothing wrong with being a band nerd. I was a band nerd for a year. I held the trumpet. I said what I said. I held the trumpet. Let's see here. Where are we at? Okay, Chris. So I see Hank. Chris, I'll try to remember that, Hangman. There was somebody, I guess, that I don't know how to explain it, but anyway, I'll make sure I don't give your information to anyone sketchy. But I just wanted to know who your name was. But good to see you, and good to have you hanging out with us from across the pond again. I would imagine any school's band would welcome any publicity. I'll tell you this much. I think the band members and parents absolutely love that. And I think to a degree, most people, anybody associated with the band doesn't mind that we do that. But I always want to be sensitive and careful that they are also, they have a YouTube channel as well. In fact, if you go to our main page on our YouTube channel, you will see the band is one of the featured ones on there, because I want to bring attention to that, to them as well. And to be honest, their filming of it's going to be a little bit better than mine and my camera and my shaky hand, but I do a good job, I think, of holding it and keep refraining from that. I'm just selling it, aren't I? But I always try to be sensitive to that. And when the Metallica show went out 2 years ago, there was a notice given out to like the band parents, and I saw it get circulated on social media. Please, if you're filming it, don't share any of it until we get a chance to share ours, because they were part of a contest to win, which they ultimately did win. So frankly, I'm always trying to be respectful and collaborative in that way. I don't want to step on toes, or this is my goal in all of this. Did not know that they had their own channel. See, you already given them a great publicity. Yeah, they are a featured. We get to pick like which channels we want featured, if any, on your front page of your YouTube channel. So if you scroll all the way to the bottom, I think that's just where it's placed, or I placed it. You'll see Auburn Tigers YouTube channel. You'll see the band, and then our secondary channel that we use as a storage for the podcast episodes. That's available to you as well if you want. And Auburn Roots, another podcast that's on hiatus for now, but may come back down the road. Hey, listen here. Okay, first of all, we'll address this, Susan. Susan, you were the one asking me about Hangman. Hangman is here. He's in the chat, and Chris Wiseman is his name. I think that was you. I think you sent a message to me, and I forgot to respond to it, but I remembered that I needed to ask something. So if I don't have my wires crossed, we're doing stuff live here on the show. This is what happens on these types of shows. There you go. I've made the Hangman's here, as far as I know still. Susan was asking about you for some reason. Maybe you didn't want to know that, but here we are trying to put it all together. Let's see here. I think I missed a couple of things here in the chat. All right, let's tackle what Susan said. Anyone else doing eye rolls over the Dude Wipes collab? I try not to be too cynical about things, but I recognize that's a little weird, and I think that's exactly the reaction they wanted. So, frankly, I think they accomplished their goal with you, is to get you to have a reaction, even if it's just an eye roll about it. It is what it is. It's the world of NIL. You don't have to like it, but it is it is what is going to continue to happen, So hopefully, and yes, it looks like I've made the corrections and the connections now with you guys. Now I can stop obsessing about that. Rise, it's an interesting comment about Bill Walton. Feels a little bit insensitive, but hey. Let's see here. I forgot about that. Yeah, Auburn needs to have dude swipe away all the tears. Okay, all right. Whatever, Micah. Whatever. Corey says, can we get Devin as the new Auburn football strength and conditioning trainer? Yeah, so what Corey's referencing here, if you're part of our Conquer Club, it gets you access to our Discord, and then there are different tiers of it as well, that gets some little extra things here and there, or spaces to talk about things in. Devin's been showing us that she's been working out and also cooking a lot, right? She's not here to defend herself. And I feel like she'll pop into the chat at any moment and be like, what's cooking, y'all? That is, okay, y'all, that's what we're going to do. When Devin arrives in the chat, if she does, I don't know, she may be busy tonight. I want every one of you, every single one of you to say, what's cooking, Devin? Let's see if she just gets weirded out by that. That would be awesome. Micah says, you threw shots as soon as I came in, Kyle. Come on. Oh, listen, that's just what you get when you come here to a show that's about Auburn people and you're a Bama person. You're just, you're coming here for abuse, and that is it. I don't know that Bill Walton specifically hated Auburn more than any other. In fact, he talked very fondly, especially when Chuma Okeke was there. I love Chuma Okeke. He was not my choice of announcer, but I'm sure he entertained a lot of people. I think, and I'm going to take what you said here. I find that we as Auburn fans sometimes feel like we're the ones that are always being singled out. And there is a little bit of out there that probably grants it, but I just don't think that's the case all the time. Rise Life says, I found out Chris Davis hated Auburn and it made the kick six even better. I would imagine hated being the operative term there. He's pretty fond of it now and what he did. He's probably very thankful for Auburn and everything that it brought him throughout his career. The biggest eye roll I have is seeing the Bama Bigfoot AI videos. Are you talking about the Bigfoot AI being a Bama fan, or the Auburn fans making fun of the Bama fans, like the Bigfoot being an Auburn fan? Because I've only seen the Auburn Bigfoot AI ones. Am I going to watch game day and see Corso's last pick? That is the goal right now. We've got some family coming to town, and I was already told that we had some plans. And I reminded them, this is Corso's last one, so I'd kind of like to be here for the duration of it, but I may not have a choice, if you catch my drift. Like it is what it is. But that is my desire and my goal to be here watching it on game day. We already shared out our goodbye post to him. I don't know that we'll do another one, but they made this big deal about the documentary last Friday night. And so I thought, wait a minute, did I miss something? Are they saying goodbye to him today on week 0? I thought it was week 1. And so I jumped the gun a little bit on that, but it is. We said our goodbyes to Corso, but I'll probably watch it, hopefully in good spirits after Friday night. Hopefully in good spirits. Man, Rise Life is just hating on everybody tonight. Bill Walton, Lee Corso. Nah, you'll miss Lee Corso before it's all said and done with. He was a good one. He was a good one. End of an era. I think everyone hated when he picked their team because they knew more than likely they were going to lose. Yeah, it did feel like that. It did feel like that. He picked Auburn one time. You've got the photo of him doing putting the helmet on. That's the one I remember. No, actually 2. I think there are 2 times I remember him putting the helmet on, but every other time he was usually here for Auburn, Alabama. I think a couple times for Auburn, Georgia, Auburn. I saw game day at Auburn versus Florida in 2019 in Gainesville, but there's that. We're having trouble streaming. Hang on one second. Maybe an issue. Possible stream is ended or deleted from Facebook. Oh my. Well, it looks like we lost our Facebook audience tonight, and I'm not sure why that is. I just got a notice on here. Yeah, let's if anybody's watching on Facebook, give us the lowdown. Are y'all good there? It may be off. Sorry, we got to do a little bit of workshopping here live because I just got this big bold announcement on my stream here about that. Anyway, y'all post some more. We've been on the Corso game day topic for a little bit. What other Auburn topics do y'all want to discuss this evening? Why I looked this up. I just want to see if it says. Yeah, it looks like it cut us short on there. That's weird. Only 30-minute show. Huh. Oh well. Sorry, Facebook folks. Y'all got a little bit of the show today. Holtz. Oh WT. Come on. We can't. It's a family friendly show here. Don't be doing that. Don't be doing that stuff. Don't be doing that stuff. All right. This is from Joe. Good to see you, my man. He says, hey, Kyle, do you think we would have any game? Here we are. We're back on it. Game days this year. Yeah. Somebody brought it up earlier in the show. And, it just really depends on how the year's going, things like that. Your best bets are probably Georgia and Alabama. Maybe away one warrants it. Auburn and Oak. It just really depends on what's going on that week. Right now, all you really know is the first one. I don't know if they've announced the second one or not. But yeah, I'd be all for it. Be all for it. I know WT's the one. He's supposed to be on his best behavior here. And he's just bringing us down into the gutter. All right. Rise Life says, I've heard a lot about Omar. So have I. So have everybody else. And as I warned everybody, when you're seeing stuff, period, on the internet, don't overreact, good or bad, and don't build the stories up into anything more than they are. Remember, oftentimes these are things that just are meant to excite you, elicit a response, to get clicks and stuff like that. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm in content creation as well, but I just find there is a need for Auburn fans and fandom in general to be a little bit more thoughtful about how we react to some of these things. As you saw in the depth chart, Omar is not listed in it currently in terms of the 1 through 3. It's Damari. Then it was an or situation with Jeremiah and Darrell Robinson, which duh. I mean, like that's how it always was going to be. What was happening during that time is there were a lot of injuries early on in practice for the running back room. You had Darrell Robinson, who was still working his way back to full health from an injury that kept him out of spring practice. Thankfully, it seems to be that he's good now. You had Jeremiah that either at the beginning of practice or right before that, like broke his thumb or something like that. It had to be in like a cast and held out for a little bit. So you had the two guys that are in the number 2 slot shared together right now who are out, which means that your other 2 feature backs are getting more reps, or not feature, but backs that you would expect. Alvin Henderson and Omar Mabson. Omar made a lot of noise with those reps that he was getting. And apparently Alvin ended up getting hurt a little bit through practice. If I'm remembering all these little pieces together that coach talked about. I traditionally don't go off of anything that's written about Auburn. I go straight to the source, the coaches, the players. That's the only ones who opinions matter, and the only ones their takes are the ones that I put a lot of stock in because they're actually living and seeing the thing. So I don't say that to be in any way downplaying Omar, but I just want us as Auburn fans to not build up these narratives in our head that, oh, Omar is getting talked about a lot. That means he's going to be number 2 or starting. And he could be if the injuries continued on that way. The great thing for Omar, this kid just now came in as a reclassified guy. He was supposed to be part of this class, and he's already caught the eye of the coaches and his teammates. That's a great sign for Omar. And I couldn't be more excited to have him already on the team, locked in. Don't have to worry about him in this class whatsoever. I mean, like being recruited away from us at this point, other than transfer portal, which opens up a whole other can of worms. Let's see here. I agree. Even me, take everything you see and hear on the internet with a grain of salt, especially stuff on E2C Network. All right, guys, we are about, where's the time at here? Wow, it's already 9:40. Our time is flying together. We're not done yet, but I just want to kind of keep things going here. Remember, we always want to thank our friends at Barner Supply. Check out their logo down there. That's one of them. I'm wearing another one tonight. BarnerSupply.com. Link in the profile if you need, or the description of YouTube. If you need that link, let me know. Go check their stuff out. Shop with them. We're excited to be partnering with them this football season. Matt is a great guy, and always enjoy our conversations together and seeing the creativity that he works with these designs and some of his other. Hey, listen, Barnhard. Don't do it today. Micah likes to just rub it in Micah's face about how much we embrace the Barney. Sorry, Micah. I feel like I'm picking on Micah a lot tonight, but he's just easy pickings right now. All right. Speaking of Micah, he brought this up. Would you consider Jackson Arnold to be a new quarterback with an upgrade because of the new school, new system, and the new players he's never played with to a point? I would say he's like a level or two more than a new quarterback. Let me see if I can get my head wrapped around all of that there. Would you consider Jackson Arnold to be a new quarterback with an upgrade? I think what you're essentially asking, Micah, is this just a fresh start for him? Like, should we not even really consider the baggage that people try to attach to him? I don't think you can separate from it completely, but I would agree with you that this is such a new place, new system, fresh start, new people, and it was such a bad situation over there, even outside of himself, that, yeah, you could almost call this just a clean slate. And he's used that type of language to describe it. Coach has talked about that. And here's the kicker. His head coach at Oklahoma, Brent Venables, has even said that at SEC Media Days, how much they tried to keep him and tried to have him stay at Oklahoma and be the starting quarterback there. And he just wishes him well now, obviously outside of when they play Auburn, but that's a good sign as well. There we go. Joe, is this for the chat? If you want to see my record prediction, it's out there. Video actually, it'll be put out tomorrow, but it's on the podcast if you want to check that out in full. And some people have already shared their predictions already. Rise says, it sounds like we have a bright future at running back, but when have we not always had a good running back room? Well said. Running back you over here. That's just what we do, baby. We run the ball. Now, let me just say this. I've had to come to grips with this, that in the Hugh Freeze RPO system, based off of just the 2 years that we've seen in my understanding of his time at other places, we are always going to be a little bit more pass heavy now than run heavy. Now, if we start whipping up on people, then you can just run the ball out, and then maybe you still are technically more of a run game. I think that's the goal of every head coach, right? Is to get to a place where you don't need to throw the ball. Just run the clock out. But you got to do that first, right? Rise thinks that this will be more of a speedy running back room. Jeremiah, I would say, helps that case. Having not watched a lot of Durrell yet, I don't know. I would say it's still got a lot of versatility in it more than anything. Hunter, what's going on? Good to see you, man. Let's see here. Devin, there we go. Hey, Devin, what's going on? What's going on? Somebody, come on. What's going on here? Hey, what's going on there? Only two of you that I see remembered there we go. Joe, come on. Devin, we were talking about you a little bit. Let me pull the curtain back. I said, when you arrive, everybody needs to go, what's cooking? And Corey's getting in there late, but that was our little gag we were going to run against you there. So feels special for a minute here. Micah says, go check out the podcast for E2C's picks for each game and his record prediction. Absolutely. So you can rub it in my face. I'll put the clip out tomorrow on YouTube probably, but the full explanation of everything is out there if you want that. Listen, it's an Auburn schedule. You've got to pick something that's a little bit weird, because if you don't, you're probably going to get it wrong. And the weird could be that they go undefeated. I just don't think that is going to happen this year at this point. Yeah, I knew. So when I made the comment about Auburn being more of an RPO and a little bit more pass happy, that the goal is to get to run the ball and to run the clock out again. I knew somebody might bring that up. Mike Leach certainly would have been one of the exceptions. There's always an exception to every rule, right? Hunter says, I think I know what this is a reference to. I'd have to disagree. I would describe any of our backs as a super explosive, not a shot against them. I just don't see that as their style play. You talk about speed backs. Yeah, I wouldn't really put them in any one category right now, frankly. I think we're all just trying to attach predictions and speculation a little bit too early to things. And that's fine. We're all entitled to our opinions, right? That's why we're on. That's why I'm doing this. But we're going to find out in due time. You said this, and somebody else said this on TikTok today when we did a stream, that Damari, unless that was you, Damari reminds you of Sean Shivers Me Timbers. I know it's Shivers. It's what I do. It's what I live for. Where's that from? Maybe a little bit, but not so much. Hunter thinks that we'll be favored in 7+ this year. Especially with at home. I mean, right now, I would say it's fair to say we shouldn't be favored to win by Georgia and Alabama based on what people think they currently know. I would suspect we're in position to be favored currently for Kentucky, for Missouri, for Mercer, for for South Alabama, for Ball State. So that's 5. Maybe Arkansas. Maybe Vanderbilt. So you could get there. I could get there with you, Hunter. Here's a prediction from Mr. Willie. Thank you for sharing yours. Appreciate that. Gus could have gave Hugh some of that 2013 fairy dust. Listen, yeah, I know that 2013 season seems like there was just something weird about it, but it really wasn't that complicated. Hugh inherited his old team essentially. He was gone for 1 year. It's very favorable when you walk into a situation where the 3/4 of the guys that you recruited, or at least had familiarity with, walked in. Now it's much deeper conversation than just simply that, but that is certainly helpful. All right, going back to running backs, this is from Hunter. Alston is more of a bruiser. Cobb is more like a third down receiving back. I don't actually agree with that. I think he's even more versatile than that. Henderson and Omar are probably more of your speed gadget guys, and that may be because of the nature of them just being young, not as built out quite yet. But we're going to find out very soon, right? We'll know exactly what type of backs these guys are, and I bet we're all going to be wrong about it. Is this Hunter giving us his ones we should be favored in? Baylor, South Alabama, Ball State, Kentucky. Okay, so we agreed on that one. There we go. Where is the Gus bus parked at this year? At my house, as it always is, sir. Me and Gus, we're on that first name basis. I guess every Auburn fan was on a first name basis because that's what we called him. Very rarely called him Malzahn. Let's just be honest. It was easier to say. No, he's Florida State offensive coordinator, and he's been giving us a fit for some recruits from when I understand. Devin, okay, somebody brought up, I think it was Micah brought up about going to 9 games. She says, I'm excited to play teams more often. We haven't played Florida since 2019. Oh, and before that, it was, oh my goodness. And Tennessee since 2020. It'd be cool to have more rotation, and we will get that until they add more teams to the SEC. I think, frankly, I'm stepping out a little bit here. I think them going to 9 games is a sign that there's probably not going to be any more expansion right now because they're investing in this model. I think they want to see how it works, let everything else kind of settle from all the changes in college athletics, namely college football, and see what happens there. Why are we always picking on the redheaded stepchildren? Like, what did they do? Why is that, huh? I never understood that. Sorry, that was really loud into the microphone there. I'm out of water, obviously. You know how much I'm going to rag Bama fans if they get beat Saturday. Yeah, but you still can't beat Gus. I mean, Gus had something on Bama, but that was when Saban was there. So it's a different time, different scheme, different everything now. Willie. Amen, brother. You know, what's funny about this statement here, not funny, but I agree with you. I have seen so many people asking the questions, making the statements, I'm worried. Are you worried? I'm concerned. And look, I know sometimes that's just the easiest way to express the thought or the question that you're coming across when they ask, are you worried? But I think also the way out of the mouth, the heart speaks. And I think some of that is some of you are a little bit too overly invested in the outcome of this season on your life. And I'll be honest, sorry, get a little bit real here, but that's just the reality of it. Do I want Auburn to win every single game? And am I a little bit sad every single time that doesn't happen? Of course. But I'm back to your point. I'm just so excited that we're here again. I'm so excited for Saturday after Saturday. There's going to be college football, Auburn football for most of those. And win or lose, I'm excited to watch the orange and blue run out there. I'm excited to see the stormtroopers run out there in all of their full white regalia with the white face mask and everything. The only uniform change that is allowed, in my opinion. But look, I think maybe my perspective on that changed a little bit after 2020 when we almost didn't have a season. And I was just thankful to have it out there. And that's my take. You don't have to agree with it, though. All right, we're already at 9:50, folks. Let me catch up in chat here, and then we gotta cover a few boilerplate things. Please, guys, if you haven't taken advantage of the call-in link tonight, I'm a little surprised some of you did take advantage of it. Do give it a try. It's one of those things that we're always kind of weighing. If it's not something that y'all want to utilize, we might consider taking it away for a little bit. But do give it a chance if you can. Click on the link. You can be on camera or off camera. Unbeaten Lake says, I'm just going to say this. Orange jerseys are coming. Cohen showed us a lot last week. I'm sure he's going to show us more. I don't think that's the case, Unbeaten Lake. I'm sorry to burst your bubble, and I am praying that never changes. Not praying because God doesn't worry about those things, but you get my drift. What's up, Felix? If I hadn't said hi to you yet, good to see you, my friend. All right, let's skip ahead a little bit here. How's the new crosswalk working at Toomers? I put a video out earlier this summer of us utilizing it. I'll try to get some more footage of that on a game day so we can really see how it's working. But I loved it. It worked well on a non-busy Sunday. Yeah, I think it was a Sunday. But it's a little odd, but it's working, I think. Let's see here. Will I be attending the Ball State game? Hunter, how many times have you heard this question asked on TikTok? And my answer to that, yes, I will be at every single game unless I have I will be on campus for every single game day unless I have a schedule conflict. I create content even outside of the game. We'll be covering that as much as I can, all angles, Tiger Walk, things like that. I'm going to be around 1,000 different places. Unfortunately, I'm not really stationary, so it's just going to be one of those things. I'll be honest with you. I have tickets to the game, but I probably won't be in my seat. I'll be moving around. I'll probably go sit down at some point to get some beautiful shots. I believe my seats, actually, yeah, my seats will be on the other side this year. So there'll be some nice shots of the sunset going down over Jordan here. I'll be up there at some point, but I'll be moving around. But yes, certainly please come find me if you can. I'll do my best to come up and say hello. Let's see here. Where are we at here? I got to skip ahead just a little bit. Chat's popping off today. Yeah, I agree. Some of you are talking about that. Kyle Do you have the call-in link? Will you have the call-in link set up for the Baylor reaction live stream? I think we did that one time and it didn't go so well. And I think that's why we stopped it. I think we also stopped it because a lot of those shows are done on the road, not from good Wi-Fi. And it was already a struggle to get me going on that. Right now, I would say that's a no, Devin. Unfortunately, I don't think it is probably productive in certain situations. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm debating. I'm never, my approach, right? I try not to say an outright no. I'm just going to say not at this time on that. But we'll see. We'll see. I'll be honest with you guys, and this is not directed at Devin or anyone in particular. And I know you're probably getting tired of me saying this. If you guys want me to utilize the call-in link elsewhere, you got to start using it here. I mean, it's just the reality of it, because if it's not going to be utilized here, then I just don't feel like it needs to be utilized anywhere else. Just to be frank about it. Let's see here. Actually, no. No. I'll give you. So, sorry, I'm going to do this really quick. See you at Mama G's. Yes, absolutely. I do need to give you guys the boilerplate stuff at the end here, but let me use this time really quickly to kind of, where was it? I'm going to use this joke to kind of set something up here. Some of you are privy to some of the things that behind the scenes that my wife and I have been through in the last couple of years. And we're trying to be a little bit more open about that. It's not like marriage issues. We are not parents yet, as you probably have noticed. And how about this? We are not parents, permanent parents. We consider ourselves a mother and a father to a beautiful little girl who is not with us in the physical place anymore. I'm struggling to get around this, because I'm just now starting to kind of talk a little bit more about that. But we are still in the business of being parents one day, in whatever way that happens, if the Lord blesses us with that, and in terms of the normal route or through other means, as you can imagine. So there's been a lot of that going on behind the scenes. And so when I talk in like uncommittedness to some of these things, my life and my schedule could change very drastically, very quickly. So that's why I speak about it that way. But it's also just because, God could take me tomorrow, right? It's Lord willing type of situation. So I'll talk a little bit more about that from time to time when I can, but I also have to be kind of cautious about how we talk about those things. All right. Sorry, I know that put us behind in chat, but I'm trying to be a little bit more open about those types of things so you guys understand us a little bit more. People in our Conquer Club have been aware of that in the past. So trying to do that a little bit more. All right, we'll get back to your comments and questions. It's probably going to be a long show tonight. Call-in link is available to you. And we've got a lot still that we probably need to cover there. Here is what we've got coming up this week. First of all, a reminder again, check out that football simulation. If you haven't, you're missing a good one. Auburn football versus Baylor. That's out there now if you want to check that out on YouTube, on Facebook. Tomorrow night, we are doing a preview and prediction show. If you've been here before, you know what happens. We've got a lot of ways we've done this in the past. Probably going to be similar to how we did that. This isn't just I pop on here and tell you my prediction. This is an interactive. We're going to preview and talk through some different angles of this. I'm going to give you a little bit of information up front about the team, the matchup. Very little we can seriously take from this other than we're just guessing about Baylor and about Auburn at this point. But we're going to try our best to set up and have discussions about who is going to have the most yards on this particular area, who's going to be the leading tackler here, all this kind of stuff. How many field goals do you think Auburn have? And hopefully by the end of it, we want to know your better educated score prediction, and I will release mine out into the world as well. So that's tomorrow night, planning about 8 p.m. Kind of been a little bit waffly on that this week just because of the weird schedule, but that's coming out. And then post-game show here in the studio, Auburn versus Baylor, late night. Very late night, but we'll do our best. to do that. I'm to Devin's question earlier. Like I said, I try not to say a definitive no on anything when someone makes a request about something. I might consider it. It'll be a late night one, but we'll see. We shall see. All righty. What else do we got here? Well, Joe, sorry if I wasn't very clear. I appreciate your congratulations. She is not with us, meaning we do not have custody of her. So, but we are hopeful that there will be a reunion someday. But thank you guys for your thoughts about that. All right, what do we got about here? What do we want to talk about the rest of the night? What haven't we talked about? You guys take the center stage here. What else? I don't think he does the call-ins on the reaction show because it interferes with his Uber fares. Oh, man. Did somebody clip that? I forget what game it was last year. If you don't know what he's referencing, WT is talking about when we were live. It had to be the second game of the year. And right after that, I started changing locations of where I broadcast from because this dude just randomly in this was a space that nobody should really be like wandering around in. It's not like I was being sketchy or anything like that where I was filming from the back from the mobile broadcast studio of my car. But it was just such a weird thing. The dude was clearly drunk looking for his Uber and just like comes up to the car with this guy with lights and cameras on. And I'm like, do you not see that I'm in the middle of something here? I literally roll the window down and I go, can I help you? That was a wild time. So that's a running gag. There's a lot of running gags here at E2C Network if you haven't noticed by now. I've heard Alex had some medical stuff still, and it made it a little sad. Yeah, I talked about this a little bit earlier, Rise. I'm not really sure exactly what's going on there, and I've not really made up my mind what to believe in that realm. Just got another interesting text up there that I'm getting all kinds of messages this evening that I'm like, what's that? What's this? What's this? It's been popping off tonight. Do you think our punter makes yes, Hudson Cack is gonna be all SEC this year. In all seriousness, though, I think from what I understand, we got a steal of a transfer in him. I actually, believe it or not, saved a clip of me punting as him in college football 26. We may get to this year. We share clips periodically from it. But yes, Hudson Cack will be an all SEC punter. You heard it here first. You're not going to get me. You're not doing it. You want to see the clip? I don't know where Rise Life. It's a post-game live stream, maybe second game of the year. I believe it was after a win, if that helps. No, it wouldn't be the second game of the year because that would have been no, that would have worked. I truly don't remember. Maybe some of y'all do. Yes. Got to rag on the 2,000 followers, right? How funny does that? How stupid does that guy look now, Micah, on TikTok? Hunter says, which player do you think will lay the hardest hit of the season? The easy answer here is DeMarcus Reddick. Another easy answer is Champ Anthony, ready to come back from that injury. I am very intrigued to see what Champ Anthony's tenacity is going to be. When you suffer something like that, it's like rolling your ankle or even breaking it. In basketball, you're always a little bit leery jumping up and trying to land again, especially in crowds. Ooh, but maybe him. I mean, y'all are predicting it. Champ is, yeah, maybe. I don't know if it was Auburn after Auburn versus Cal, but it's there. It was a post game. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I think he's just asking which one specifically it was. Well, the saddest part about that awesome hit, the next play is when he injured himself, and that's the tough part about that. Corey says Clint is the one who brings all the deviants out of the woodshed when he's on. You know, that's not incorrect, Corey. That's where War Dustbuster happened. Oh, man. That's one of the beauties about doing stuff like this for so long is we have had time to compile some great moments. War Dustbuster, the Uber thing. See, the people, y'all who are just getting here and finding this, you don't know how much you've missed out on. And some of it, yes, is at my expense and stuff like that. But Austin, his camera dropping down basically into his crotch in one of our first few shows of the Auburn experience, like, it's good stuff. It's all good stuff that we've had. Now that guy is probably being miserable somewhere in his basement. Hunter says that was one of the few injuries in my lifetime that the TV broadcast refused to show it. I still have no idea what it looked like. It just that it was horrible. So I remember when it happened, our view thankfully was I was on the opposite upper deck. And so we really didn't get to see much of it, but there was immediate response from all players. In fact, there was immediate response from the other sideline. That would be Cal, right? No. Who was that? No, he hit whoever it was. Hit him pretty dang hard. And they immediately responded to that. You should do an end of year highlight streams. So that's a great idea, Corey. So here's the problem. I have so many ideas that I want to do for you guys in terms of content. It's really just time. Like, I'm backlogged on clips and stuff that I need to put out and things like that. It's really just me here. And I don't say that as a complaint. I do like having control of everything. Austin obviously is my co-host on the main podcast, and you see him. He does help in some regards for some things like that. But in terms of the content creation, the social media work, it's all me right now until we get a little bit bigger and we can, continue to make enough money to pay my needs and then pay someone else. I'll do the best that I can. But it is a lot of work to garner those things. I'm starting to put some things into place with some of the pictures and videos that I take about how to start compiling them into storage systems to better access for that exact point, though, Corey. The running gags on this channel are what it makes it such an awesome channel. Yeah, I gotta be honest with you. That's one of the best things here. Arkansas, yes, because it was their quarterback that was known for it. It was rough, man. It was rough. All right. We are at 1 hour and 7 minutes here. What else? I want to take this opportunity to once again remind you of our friends at barnersupply.com. Our link for them is in our description. And seriously, even if you're not ready to buy something today, please go over to right as soon as we're done here, go to the description, click on that link, go over there and check it out and just see what they've got. You're going to find a lot of good products, not just these hats, not just koozies, not just shirts, not just all kinds of stuff with this logo, with that logo down there. They got others as well. Barn out, barn hard is, as they say, and embrace the thing that the Bama fans try to use against us. It's awesome. Everyone chip in so Kyle doesn't have to do. How funny would it be if I did a live post-game show driving people around like a cash taxi or cash cab post-game show around Auburn? If I could have the setup to pull that off, that would be hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. The Champ Anthony hit that he laid, amazing. What happened after? Not amazing. If we take some cool photos and videos of our games, would you have any interest in being sent them to assist in your content creation? Absolutely. As long as you are giving me permission to utilize them in our content. And I would think if you send that to us, that usually in legal situations, that's consent. But I always try to ask in that rate. Yeah, seriously. And here's how I work with content. If it's not ours, usually on those posts, things like that, I give credit either in the post part of it or on the, if it's a prepared graphic type of thing in the graphic, because I want people to recognize that this wasn't just us. There was assistance in that. So usually that's how that works. Cash Cab would be crazy post game. You like that? Hey, never say never. To be honest with you guys, I had people for years asking me when this was just an audio podcast, when are you going to do YouTube? When are you going to do YouTube? Put it off for years and finally did it. And here we are. And we're not the biggest channel out there and never will be. But I'm good with what we got here. It's just fine to me. Kyle's version of Cash Cab would be when you get all the questions right, you get a Barner hat. I bet Matt, who owns Barner Supply, would be down for that. Never say never. We've done a lot of our good ideation here, folks. It's, believe it or not, it has transpired here before. Real quick, I didn't see her here this evening, but we gave her a shout out on YouTube. We do have another channel member, Melissa Spur, and I meant to say that earlier. So if you're curious what that is, there are several different avenues where you can support our content here. You can sign up to be a channel member. I think it's still just 99 cents to get in as that. Really, it just gets icons next to your name, some recognition. I usually give you a shout out to, if you're from the TikTok space, it's a similar thing. So we offer these things on the different platforms. If you just want to stay on that specific platform and offer some support, Melissa chose to do that either last night or today. So I wanted to give her a shout out and I had it starred up here. So thank you from Melissa and so many of you. WT here is one of those channel supporters. Several of you as well have done that. And whether you've done that a long time, were able to do it for a little bit, join the Conquer Club, whatever have you, we appreciate everybody that's able to do that. But also, we just appreciate you being here and support us this way. It is growing. It is certainly growing. And we certainly acknowledge that is mainly because of you all. Devin says, I'll see if I can get some cool shots from the Baylor game. Been hearing the Auburn crowd will be quite huge. I'm glad you brought that up, Devin. Have we seen any official sources like media members or anything that are acknowledging that as a fact, or is that just scuttlebutt? I don't really buy into, and I know you're going to be shocked at me saying this, Devin. I'm a big skeptic of these things on social media. I just haven't seen anything legitimate. In fact, I saw things to the opposite, that it was just a story that was being built up by some people trying to get some, which is fair. I mean, some drive conversation around the things that they were saying. Maybe I'm wrong, but I haven't seen anything legit around that. But please do. If you're going to be out there, anything that you would be willing to share with us, to share your perspective, certainly you will get a credit either in the description of the photo that we would share, or either in the photo itself, if we have the time to do that it came from you. Let's see here. Devin, give us a wave on TV wearing a tiger paw oven mitts. We're going to get you. We got to get her oven mitts. Orange and blue says what's cooking. So all right. That's what we're doing, folks. Every time Devin answers the chat from now on, everybody's got to greet her by saying what's cooking. That's going to be her thing. We got to do that. I agree. Listen, if there's a fan base that can pull off some of the speculation about how much the ticket sales are going in Auburn's favor, it's Auburn, right? Like it's not out of the realm of possibilities. I just don't think that's as big as they have it. So if Locked On's talking about it, I would say maybe there's a little bit of validity to the Auburn's doing well in ticket sales. Like, don't hear me not saying I don't buy into the hype that Auburn's buying a lot of tickets. I just think it's getting a little bit conflated and inflated and overblown at this point. I think they said around 10,000. Someone on Twitter said 15, but I really see. I saw even bigger than that. Like it, and at that point, maybe someone was just running with it at that point. Here's what we know: Auburn fans travel. Auburn fans love Auburn, not just Auburn football, and they will show up and show out. What do we always say? If you want to make money, put Auburn in your bowl game. If you want to make money, bring them to your showcase event in a sport. If you want to make money, sign an Auburn person to your semi-pro team. If you want to make money, attach Auburn to your name. Auburn people will flock to it. Over, said, and done with. And great example right there. If you can make a dent in Happy Valley, you can make a dent anywhere. Hunter says, I know people say this every year, but I really feel more hype and excitement going to this year than we had in several seasons since probably 2019. People trying to correlate that. I'm not there yet. Maybe, though. We'll see. I will admit this to you, Hunter. I was sitting here one evening, and I just kind of thought, you know, in 2013, I really didn't have us doing that on my bingo card. And then I thought, Kyle, don't do that to yourself. Don't do that. Oh, my light has just decided to start flickering and brighten up. See, your funds do help us out. It's time to upgrade. See how much brighter it's getting? That's what it's supposed to be doing, but it wasn't doing that all show. Oh, my goodness. If we put too many in the stands, their 8A might. Oh, well played, WT. WT gets the comment of the night. There you go. Comment of the night, WT, for referencing back to Duke AD. That's well played, sir. Well played. Wow, this is just an unfortunate typo, Susan. So we got to laugh at ourselves sometimes. There you go. But let's read it as it was written. There's a huge AU slum presence. What are you, a Bama fan? No, okay. There's the autocorrect. There's a huge AU alum presence in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Would be surprised if we don't show up at Baylor. It's only 90 miles away. Absolutely. Same thing for Houston. I know it's longer, several hours away, but there's a huge contingency of fans down there. I know some of them personally. And then Devin's in Texas as well. Devin, I forget where you guys are. I don't really want to out you where you are if you're not wanting it out there, your business out there. But yeah, so Texas is a big state with a big population. Chances are they're going to have some Auburn people, but they have some big pockets. Auburn people flock together. Birds of a feather flock together. Guess Kyle called the Ghostbusters to get, man, what are we doing? All the callbacks tonight to get rid of that shadow that was lurking in his videos. Okay. Was that last year? Sorry. I know we're just hitting tons of random things now. Was that last year that was happening a lot? I still to this day don't know. And that was in here in studio, right? And I think I was in this same setup. Yeah, there was the shadow that kept casting over me during the middle of the shows. And if you look in the room, there's nothing that can move. Like, it was the weirdest thing. So we had Gustbusters, we had Uber drivers, we had Ghostbusters, Dustbusters, Uber driving situations. We had all kinds of stuff happen here on this show. Amen. It was during the basketball games, and it happened in your car once or twice. I don't know, man. I don't know. That was wild. It was wild. All right, folks. I think we need to call it an evening. We don't need to overdo it. Once again, I want to remind you guys, we are planning to do a preview prediction show. I've been a little bit waffling on if we needed to continue that. So I will be, it's not like a threat or something like that, but your presence there and interest in it will drive if we continue it. So we're going to give it a shot again this year. We'll do our preview prediction interactive show, aiming for 8 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow night. Join us there once again, post-game show. Auburn versus Baylor late after the game Friday night. Check out the preview simulation from College Football 26 that we put out. And once again, we want to thank our friends at BarnerSupply.com for partnering with us, for being good friends, good Auburn people, and bringing you Auburn Family Night tonight and for the next several of these shows in football season. You guys are the best little family within the Auburn family, and I do mean that. Thank you so much for being part of it. Until we talk to you again, War Eagle.